Evening, everyone. It's 7 o'clock, and it's time for your Tuesday, the 22nd of December's closing comment. Sorry about this morning. Had a problem with the computer and couldn't do that pre-opening. But just to make sure you knew, before the open, we had the third quarter GDP look, and it came in at 33.4%. Versus the last one, which was 33.1. The point I want to make here is that the economy did not grow by 33.5% last quarter, and it didn't grow by 33.1% last quarter. This is an annualized number. The actual growth was around 11%, and we're still running way behind. So we had a kind of a strange day again today. The Dow was down 200 or 0.2%, while the NASDAQ was up $65 or 0.5%. On the NYSE, the internals were 1.5 to 1 down, where on the NASDAQ they were 5 to 4 up. Volume was a little higher. The S&P was down 766. The Dow Jones transports were down 25.72, both 0.2%, and the big winner for the day was the Russell 2000, up 19.55, or just a shade under 1%. So the COVID bill is passed. I'm sure you know all that. And Apple was strong this morning on the news that they were going to have an electric vehicle or participate in an electric vehicle by 2024 with their battery superiority. And the stock was up a little this morning. It finished the day on 131.88, up 365, which was just under 3%. We also had some other economic news this morning. Home sales were down 2.5% for the first time in 6 months. Consumer confidence also down 88.6 versus 96.5 last time. We have a bunch of economic numbers tomorrow because of the short week. Remember, of course, everyone knows we're closed on Christmas, but we're also closed with a half day on Thursday. So everything is lumped together. We have November personal income, we have November personal spending, housing prices, new home sales, and the Michigan consumer sentiment numbers. So as I said, the Apple was one of the few that was up today. In fact, on the Dow, there were 24 down and 6 up, and Apple was the only one up double digits, and that only added 24 Dow points. And yesterday's big winner, Goldman Sachs, was today's big loser, down 46 Dow points. Amgen right behind it, down 41. We had Walmart down $1.77 at 144.20 on the news that the Department of Justice is suing them. The complaint is that they aided in the opioid epidemic. This is kind of a stretch, and it's also kind of, the Department of Justice, like they did with the banks, are now looking for another ATM to fine on a regular basis. And the complaint said something about the fact that they forced their workers in their Walmart pharmacy to expedite filling of prescriptions. The more that they could fill, the faster, I guess, the more they could put out. But, it's not like Walmart had anything to do with bogus prescriptions or anything else. So that's kind of a stretch, as I said. We also had CarMax, which had numbers this morning, and they were actually positive. But the stock, which was trading around 98.5, down $1.60 earlier, finished the day 92.33, down $8.13, or 8.1%. on the basis of the fact that they gave guidance and said that the last month of the quarter was not as strong as the first 2 months of the quarter. So they took that to the woodshed. As far as my sectors that'll be in tonight's note, only two were up. And those would be work from home and the cannabis sector. And the only one that was even mixed was food supply and food chain. And the rest, infrastructure, defense, energy, finance, biotech, retail, and the reopening trade, which is primarily cruise lines and airlines, were all negative. Some of them negative for every one in the sector. So, when you look at a sector like defense and you see 7 out of 7 down, that kind of brings a bit of surprise. Okay, the chart on the screen is the U.S. dollar, and I've been reporting about it coming down and down and down. And yesterday we got all the way up here to about 91, but closed all the way down at the bottom on the low of the day, even though it was pretty basically unchanged. Today, it was an inside day, higher low, lower high, and it closed towards the top, up about 60 cents, which is a pretty big move for this. So, we're setting up. As you can see, we are still under where we hit yesterday, this blue line, which is the 20-day moving average. Okay, gold was down again today. Oil was down again today. Oil was down big yesterday. It only closed down about half of what it was during the day, but it hasn't rebounded really much at all. As you can see, it had a range of 49.30 to 46 and a quarter, so $3 range in a $45 commodity. That's 6%. Today we had a narrower day, and we are stuck between the 5-day MA and the 20-day MA. And we closed towards the low. We're minorly lower tonight, but this is kind of an important area in here. I'd say there's really good support down here around 46 and a quarter to 46, so we'll have to see whether we turn back up here or not. This is clearly a COVID play with the question of demand for jet fuel, for gasoline, for everything that crude oil produces. Okay, the gold, give you a look at that. It's down about $2 tonight, which is really not much. But today, same kind of situation. Yesterday it hit the moving average, came down. Today was an inside day, not really a surprise, but down 12 and a half. And tonight, as I said, we're down, $1.80. So this is also a pretty important area. And I think if we can hold down here, let's just call it 1860, 1862, then I think we can start back up and test this 19 and a quarter, 1950 area. So we'll have to see how that goes. And of course, what would an evening be without a look at Bitcoin? It was up today about 560. It's up about 400 more now, and today's close represents a new all-time high close, 23,445, and we're higher than that. So if we just closed where we're trading now, up 360, 395, another new high. Can't imagine that it's not going to extend here into the 26,000 area before pulling back. All right, everyone, just a reminder, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps support us, and I'll be back first thing in the morning. Have a good evening.